Yeah, it was eerie doing those games with no fans in the stands. It was weird so we did road games off the monitors.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to finally get to do this and tell
I appreciate it. No, it's great to finally kind of have the freedom to tell my story. The most important thing to me is people are going to remember that Johnny Gargano was a good professional wrestler, but even better human being.
It's honestly a blessing. Like, being able to just go to different places, travel, and see new sights.
The title of your podcast actually is very appropriate here. I've just always been interested in hearing people's stories.
Welcome to Your Story with Mike Wexler.
Welcome to the Your Story podcast. My name is Mike Wexler, and I have a very special guest with me today, someone that takes no days off, Mr. Fred Rosser. How are you doing today?
Mr. No Days Off is in the house, and I always say when I do these type of podcasts, don't die with a story and you tell it. So the only reason why I'm doing this is because the support that you show so many up-and-coming wrestlers. I see you at all the shows, and with this interview, better late than never. And the only thing I can give you is my word. And I told you I was going to do this interview, and here I am sharing my story with you.
I appreciate that seriously, because it's really cool just to have recognition like that, just to support the scene and really sharing that positivity everywhere.
Yeah, you know, I understand the grind. 24 years this coming September 11th. I've been rocking and rolling in this crazy world of professional wrestling, and I was told no by WWE over 40 times, so I don't let that get me down. I kept going for it and going for it and going for it, and seeing you out there supporting wrestlers, getting yourself out there with this podcast, I'm all about supporting you guys.
I appreciate that. Let's talk about something first. You brought some hardware over here. Block the Hate Champion. I love that message that you have, by the way.
Listen. I'm off the clock, okay? I'm not going to be whooping up on anybody now, but yeah, I brought the title, and just imagine getting hit in the head with that.
I don't want to imagine that at all.
All right.
But can you talk to us about Block the Hate, what the message means to you?
It means the world to me, man. I mean, Block the Hate. I think in this world, we all receive hate for various reasons, but in order to be strong and successful, you got to block the hate, and it means the world to me. It's not just an LGBTQ movement. It's a movement for anyone that gets bullied into silence. You might get bullied because you have glasses on. I might get bullied because I had a speech impediment growing up, and I did, but I didn't let that disability hold me down. I just kept pushing forward and putting my head down and going to work. I was an overweight kid growing up too. I didn't let that hold me down. Mm-hmm. My high school yearbook, my last sentence, it said, WWF, here I come. Mm-hmm. So there was no plan B for me. My plan B was if I hadn't gotten signed with WWE, I would have been on the fire department because I was number 3 on the list back in 2009. So if I hadn't gotten signed in 2009, I would have been a firefighter. So yeah, that's my journey.
No, I love that. And speaking about your journey, what's the earliest memory you have of professional wrestling? Something that maybe inspired you?
I mean, this man right here, I wear him all the time. I pop. He saw me win the Strong Openweight Championship. As a kid, he would always take me to Burger King and, fill me up with snacks. And he would take me to the toy store and buy me all the wrestling action figures. He always supported me, and he would be 100 this year. He died at 98 years old, and he's seen me do some amazing things in wrestling from 2002 when I started up into signing with WWE in 2009. He's seen me at so many stages in my career and in my life, and he's always supported me. So he's the reason why I'm here. He's the reason why I do what I do. And before he passed away, something that I always live by every day is he would always say, be good to people. Mm-hmm. Be good to people and be cool and don't be no fool. So when I moved out here to LA, I was always in a hurry, just going to auditions back in 2017 when I moved out here. Mm-hmm. And I remember pulling into a parking garage and I hit the side of my truck and hit a yellow pole, and the side of my truck was just, yellow. And it was that minute I said, I'm not going to be rushing anywhere to auditions, to wrestling shows. You just have to leave a little early. And that's what he taught me. He taught me to be on time and don't be in a hurry, because if you're going to be in a hurry, you're going to mess up. But I can go on and on about this man.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, to tie in everything I just said, he's the reason why I'm a professional wrestler.
No, that's beautiful. I mean, especially having that inspiration behind your back, just leading onto your journey is phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
So the other thing I do want to talk about, speaking about your wrestling career, is the start. I mean, obviously you started your journey, and what was those beginnings like for you?
It was wrestling 24/7. We just recently lost a legend, Hulk Hogan, and I can only talk about my experiences being in his presence. When I came out publicly, he came up to me privately at a WWE show when I was heavily involved in WWE, and he said, "Hey, brother, I heard your story, and a really courageous move for you coming out." So that's my experience with him. And even when WWE premiered on Fox back in 2019, I was there, and I was in Hulk Hogan's presence, and he asked me what I was doing outside of WWE. And I said I always had dreams and aspirations of working with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I remember him saying, I wish I had my connections. He didn't have his old New Japan Pro Wrestling connections anymore. But those are two conversations I had with him. So I can only speak from experience. And I just posted something on my social media paying tribute to him, because 1984, I was mesmerized by the Hulk Hogan action figures. So that was my experience. I was a young kid, just a fan, just dreaming big. And the clip is over 40 years old. And you can go on my social media and check it out. So that was my experience. That was my initial impression of professional wrestling, and who stood out to me. Most importantly, him and Andre the Giant in that iconic match. What was it, WrestleMania 3?
3.
WrestleMania 3. And then from then on, for me, it was just wrestling 24/7. And I grew up, I hate to say like an old timer, but back in my day, I grew up where in my living room at my house, one television had on Monday Night Raw, the second television had on WCW Nitro, and the third television had on Monday Night Football. So that was my living room back in the early 2000s. And from then on, I did the backyard wrestling. And I don't condone it, but it was just something that friends in junior high and high school loved. And I did it. And I was I was carrying around a suitcase. I had a fanny pack. I was a wrestler. I was a wrestler. I believed it. Most importantly, I believed in myself then. And then from the backyard wrestling, right out of high school and in college, I joined IWF, Independent Wrestling Federation, in New Jersey, because that's where I'm originally from, right. Dirty Jersey, as Whitney Houston would say. And I always say I'm not the most talented wrestler, 24 years. I've been rocking and rolling, but where I excel is my work ethic. First one to the building, last one to leave. I was here before you, preparing for this podcast. I don't like to be late. I don't like for people to wait on me. I rather wait on someone than have someone wait on me. So that's where I excelled. And I was a sponge for the business when it came to footwork, storytelling. I don't want to give away all my secrets because, again, I'm not a big fan of pulling the curtain back too much. I'm still old school. But I was a sponge, first one there, last one to leave, always on time, a sponge, finding out what the pros are looking for. This was back in 2002. So from 2002 to 2009, I was grinding on the independence level, just like the independent guys you see nowadays, and a lot of the guys that I coach at the academy, grinding away, being told no over 40 times. I think we live in a society today where the kids want it real quick. They want that instant gratification. But it takes time. It takes time. And sometimes that no means not yet. So all those times being told no, it was like what did I need to do? I needed to lose weight, gain weight, tone up, have some kind of personality. That was the main thing I needed, was the personality. And again, I was closeted. I was closeted for 30 years of my life. And it's all about fake it till you make it. And I just wasn't myself for a long time. But now I'm much more comfortable with myself. I'm much more me. But from that time, 2002 to 2009, whatever it took. And back then, Dr. Tom Pritchard, he's an old timer who helped train The Rock and Kurt Angle. He was my mentor at the time. And he would always tell me, way back in the day when I was an extra, he would just say, show up to the arenas. Anytime WWE was in the Northeast area, New Jersey, New York, Boston, anywhere in the Northeast, he would just say, if I wasn't booked, he would just say, just show up. And if I got extra work, I would do the extra work and be compensated. If I didn't get any work, I would just keep my mouth shut and always be a sponge. And I was around guys back then, trying out in front of Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, Bob Holly, JBL. Those were the guys that were looking, judging, seeing what kind of new talent is out there, and just imagine the pressure. But I always gave it my all. And something I always say at the academy is, since I coach, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, pretty soon you'll get a haircut. And I say that all the time. I'm going to repeat it. I'm a big fan of Denzel Washington. If you hang around the barbershop long enough, pretty soon you'll get a haircut. And being around WWE for so long, from 2002 to 2009, I finally got an opportunity to do a paid tryout. And a paid tryout, again, I'm an old timer. Back in my day, I had to pay. Nowadays, you get invited to the Performance Center in Orlando, and you try out. But I paid $1,000 to try out in 2009. And out of 75 guys and girls from all over the world in Tampa, Florida, I beat them all out, and I earned my contract with WWE. So that's where my story is very unique, that I had to pay to try out. Now guys and girls don't have to do that. And the same day I got signed was the same day AJ Lee got signed, CM Punk's wife. So she was crying her eyes out. I was crying my eyes out. And for me, the rest was history in my journey from grinding on the independents, being told no over 40 times, ultimately getting signed with WWE, and I was off to the races then.
No, I mean, it's an incredible story. It's just hearing the experience that you had from the struggles, like you said, in the beginning to now, is very inspirational. I think that really proves the message to you of blocking the hate, especially when you're going through the struggles of trying to still make it to this day.
Yeah, and it was very competitive, competitive. Again, I want to see guys that I grew up with in the industry succeed, but I didn't take no for an answer. A lot of people gave in, and I'd be lying to you if I didn't think I wanted to give in a couple times. But again, the grit, and that's what I look for: grit, tenacity when I'm coaching.
Speaking about coaching, let's talk about New Japan, the LA dojo. I mean, we had talked about it before we went on the air. A lot of great people from the independents went through the academy. I mean, I have to shout him out, Zane J.
Yes.
I didn't know a lot about him before. I know he came from Seattle.
Me neither. I didn't know a lot about him either.
And look at him now. He, former Strong Survivor, is killing it in Japan. I mean, that's something that is really cool to see from an outside perspective.
Yeah, I can go on and on about Zane. You know, this sit down isn't about him; it's about me.
Right.
But with Zane, he checks off all the boxes. And I remember him going away on his first excursion of Japan, and he came back and he told me all of the things that he needed to work on. And I really stressed it. I said, you got to work on X, Y, and Z. So when you go back out there the next time, you're prepared and you're qualified and you're ready. And that's what he did. He honed in on his skills. And, you know, this takes a long time to get, a long time to understand. But he's got good instinct. He's very curious. You know, I can love a student that's curious about certain things, that asks questions, that when I send you matches to watch and study, you come back to me, look me in my eye, and tell me X, Y, and Z that you noticed. And Zane, I'm so proud of him because he's doing great. And he's one of the reasons why I still coach, because I'm looking for the next Zane. Every academy, we've been doing it over 2 years now. I've been blessed enough because of Rocky Romero to be head coach. And I didn't ask to be head coach. I was appointed head coach, again, because of my work ethic, what I do outside of the ring. And there are a lot of things that I think I look for in an athlete, but most importantly is their work ethic. The work ethic is so important to me. Just show up, just bring it. It's when I don't have to tell you to show up and bring it as a coach that really impresses me. And Zane is one of those guys. And Zane and I, we connect on so many levels.
Yeah.
We connect on so many levels. But yeah, I can go on and on. I can go on and on. Where are we going from here?
Well, actually, if I can, I would like to mention one more person from the academy that I think an incredible glow up, in my opinion, that being Alan Breeze.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember starting out with him back in 2020 during the pandemic. Started in as an online show called Hard Knocks Wrestling. Shout out to Jesse Hernandez and the EWF. But that's where we started, and to see that academy showcase in the main event, mind you, him versus Wicked, another guy that I started out with.
Wow.
Where he took off the mask, how emotional that was. Not only to the people that knew him, but the people that first saw them for the first time.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite matches. Wicked and Breeze. They definitely brought it. They definitely delivered. Wicked is one of my favorites, and he knows that, and students at the academy know that. I think with me being a coach, I think I've inspired more people in the last 2 years than people do in a lifetime. You know, I've had over 100 come through the academy, 100 plus, between beginners and advanced. Because I do checking on the beginners to see what's out there. That's where I discovered Zane. But I deal mostly with the advanced class. And the one thing about Breeze is when he comes there, you know, class is from a certain time, and I always start on time. Sometimes a little earlier, sometimes we end later, but we always start on time. And he's always locked in to the session. He's always in the zone. And I don't know a lot of the students' backgrounds initially, but I didn't even realize that that he was studying education, and he had those leadership type qualities. And that's something that I just gravitate towards as a coach. It's not about me. It's about what other leaders can I help build and help give confidence? And when you check off all the boxes as to what New Japan Pro Wrestling is looking for, you're very special when I appoint you a QB. You'll see that on a lot of my social media posts.
Yeah.
Posting with a QB, Breeze, Zane, Matt Vandergrift. He's been a QB. So when I appoint you a QB, you check off all the boxes. I can appoint you to New Japan Pro Wrestling and say, all right, this guy has all the, or girl has all the tools and the resources that they need to succeed. At least I try to provide that as a coach. And with the academy, I don't just prepare you for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I prepare you for WWE, AEW. Again, I don't want to give away all the secrets, but what happens if time gets cut? You have to learn how to work television. You know how to have stuff that's collapsible. Collapsible. Again, I'm trying to speak in codes. You got to know where the cameras are. It's just a lot when it comes to TV. And I didn't, that's a lot of what I share at the academy, because we don't waste time. That's like my number one quote. NJPW Academy, we don't waste time.
Right.
It's not Starbucks. It's tough training. And you've got to earn to get into the ring. I can go on and on about the academy, but it's the toughest program in the world. And students get 10 to 12 weeks. They just get a glimpse of it. 2 days a week is only the amount that you're required to be there. Sometimes more, but you get what you put in. I always say to the students on day one, you get what you put in. So you're required to be there 2 days, but if you have opportunities to train more and learn more, take advantage of it. But yeah, I can. Again, I'm sorry I get on a tangent.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I always got to steal a line from Booker T. You know, sometimes you got to get off track to get back on track. And again, this is me speaking from the heart. When I do these interviews, I can talk about. I've learned from social media training with WWE podcasts. You can speak in a longer format. If I'm doing a radio, it's got to be bullet points. It's fast. If I'm doing a TV spot, it's got to be bullet points. It's got to be fast. Here, I can be more relaxed and just speak from the heart. Again, I have a game plan when I do those other types of medias to have those bullet points. But here, I just want to just relax and just be conversational.
Yeah.
Just be real.
Of course.
So again, like I said, you gotta. Sometimes I get off track, but you got to keep me on track.
No worries, no worries. I mean, it's just the flow of the conversation, as we said before. One thing I do want to mention, though, your representation toward the LGBTQ is phenomenal. You're inspiring a lot of youth. You're inspiring a lot of people, maybe in their 40s and their 30s, whatever the case may be. Yeah. The way that you represent that message is huge.
Yeah, I didn't think my story was a big deal when I came out in 2013. Until, of all people, the icon Cher reached out to me on social media, and I still have the conversation saved. And she said, because of her hearing my story, one of her friends, who's a big wrestling fan, came out to his family. So it was that minute that I realized that my story was a big deal. So I do more than just wrestle. You know, I give back to the community. I'm an advocate, and again, with the state of things going on in the world today, I can't control what another man or woman's actions are. I can only control my actions.
Right.
And every day my feet touch the ground, I know someone in the LGBTQ community or anyone that gets bullied into silence is counting on me. That's why I don't just carry around this belt to appearances and autograph signings. Just, this is for the people. So again, when you take a picture with the Block the Hate Championship, you sign your soul to the Block the Hate movement. Again, like I said earlier, we all receive hate for various reasons, but in order to be strong and successful, you got to block the hate. And that's that, you know?
No, absolutely. Again, phenomenal message. I mean, that's what a part of the positivity that I love about Fred Rosser is that continuing that mindset of just staying positive and continuing to block the hate.
Yeah, it's important to me because we didn't dive into my WWE career, but let's pivot there.
Okay.
I wasn't myself in WWE. I just wasn't myself. I got signed in 2009, and I remember my last independent wrestling match was against Viscera.
Wow.
Yeah, he was my last independent wrestling match, and again, he's the old timer. So a lot of the old timers, they might not want to like talk to you. You know, they just see you out there, and I'm okay with that because I just know how to adapt. Number one thing I say at the academy is our greatest ability is our adaptability. Our greatest ability is our adaptability. So how well can you adapt to New Japan style? How well can you adapt to WWE style? You have to be adaptable. So he was my last independent wrestling match, and after it was all said and done, we had a great match, and he said, "You know, boy, you're gonna be up on the main roster within a year," and he was right. I was on the main roster on the original season of NXT, and people ask me what my experience was like, and I tell them it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. When those yellow ropes would be getting put on at TVs, it was a nightmare because it was a game show. Like, who's going to take someone like me seriously when you have to, like, you're in a juggling contest, you know? It's just, or you have to chug a bunch of soda and run down the stairs. Just, it was a nightmare, you know?
Yeah.
And it just took a lot longer for the fans to just maybe get behind a certain person.
Yeah.
Because they see you fail at these obstacles and stuff like that, and they're not going to take you seriously. So that was tough for me. Looking at NXT right now, it's off the hook.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much fun to see. But I'm happy that I still debuted, and I'm an original.
Yeah.
So from then, being the original and then moving on to the Nexus, it was still, I wasn't myself. But again, it's history that it's in history books. You know, it happened, and I was blessed to be a part of it and work with some amazing people that I'm still friends with to this day. But once I came out, I was much more me. I was much more myself. I started teaming with Titus O'Neil, and how that came about was Vince McMahon always saw a liking in Titus and I. He always saw us hanging out backstage, talking, so he decided, let's become a tag team. And it was John Laurinaitis on TV that had initially signed us to SmackDown contracts, and the rest was history with that. So, yeah, I can go on and on about my WWE days.
Well, I mean, if I kind of can add on to that.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about a special moment. And I mean, not only my opinion, but a lot of fans and peers' opinion as well. Beating the New Day's legendary reign. Getting that time to make history and to defeat such, like I said, historic reign. I think it was over 300 days from my memory.
Oh, okay.
What was that moment like, teaming with Titus O'Neil and finally getting that moment to win those tag team titles from not only just any tag team, but the longest reigning still to this day, if I remember correctly?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not much into the facts. Yeah, you got to know your facts. But yeah, whether we won them 2 times, 3 times, 1 time, 5 times, it's in the history books of us winning the championships. And I always forget about that little, you know, that fact about, we did beat the longest reigning tag team champions. So that's still in the history books. But it's just, again, it's memories that I'll never forget. I traveled the road fighting those guys, and it was some of the most fun I had with Titus, the most fun I had with New Day, and it's something I still look back on because it's been a minute since I've been with WWE, so a lot of time to reflect and see what those guys are doing today, and still in the game, but Mr. No Days Off is still in the game too. So I always say, you're not going to pull the plug on me and tell me it's over.
No, I love that. I mean, again, the inspirational message is so great. Just, again, blocking the hate. We're talking about always being the first one to be in the building, last one to leave. I mean, it's really...
real. It's real. No days off isn't a gimmick. You know, it's a way of life. It's
Absolutely.
a grind. It's a struggle. It's having that grit, tenacity. I can go on and on. But patience, too. You got to have patience in this business. Again, like I said earlier, society wants it quick. And it takes time. And sometimes I tell the students, sometimes in this business, you're going to have to eat shit and like to taste it. Taste of it. Not everything's going to be... Not everything's going to be great. Not everything's going to pan out like the way you want it to. And I think the one thing that separates me from a lot of coaches is I always check in either before, after, or during class. I always check in on students' mental health because that's very important to me, because you can be the most talented wrestler in the ring, but if you can't battle what's between your ears, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So that's the one thing I always try to check on. So coaching, it's not part-time. It's tough. It's full-time, full-time. And I've had so many students cry in my arms, so many students, not putting any names out, but I've had a lot of students cry in my arms. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just listen, because I've been in their shoes. I've been in their shoes, many of them, all of them. So, so mental health is very important to me as a coach.
No, absolutely. And again, very, very cool, very just inspirational. One thing I do have to ask is that if anybody listening right now is going through any mental health struggle, whether it's wrestler, whether it's someone in the business, whether it's maybe a fan, an outsider, what would be your message to them?
Find the support, you know, get yourself somewhere that you can just maybe share your story and just have someone listen. Get in the gym. I think, you know, when someone's dealing with mental health, like, get in the gym. I'm not perfect. What helps me out is working out, working up a sweat. I feel so much better afterwards. Do you fly? Do you fly a lot, Mike?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
Are you scared to fly?
No, I just don't have the funds for it.
Okay. Well, you don't have the funds. Well, I always say, next time you fly, listen to the flight attendant. She says something, or he says something very important. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first before assisting others. And that's how I live my life. That's how I live my life. I have to get the gym out the way in the morning. First thing in the morning, empty stomach, intermittent fasting. I don't eat until 4 p.m. I eat between 4 and 8 p.m. Fast close to 20 hours. I get my workouts in the morning. I have to put the oxygen mask on myself first before I start doing this podcast with you, before I start coaching. That's what helps my mental health. During the pandemic, I was working out in my garage. I had people coming over, helping them train, you know. So I was okay during that time. That's why I say, be in the gym. Health is wealth. Health is wealth.
Yeah, no, again, it's definitely important, especially with the past few years that we've seen, just not only throughout the world, but in other people's lives, the change that has happened, you know, from being stuck at home to now trying to adjust 5 years later. It's definitely a struggle.
Yeah, and, you know, keep doing your thing with this podcast, because during the pandemic, I was doing a podcast with my real-life neighbor at the time. He was a big wrestling fan, Arnold Telegarta, and is his name. And we had a pro and bro wrestling podcast that we would film in person, and sometimes we would do, when the pandemic really hit, we would do it virtually. So for me, doing the podcast was a lot of fun, because it was practice in speaking. It was practice in storytelling. It was just good at sharing my story. And I understand it's tough. It's tough, like getting guests. But I was lucky enough during the pandemic where no one was doing anything. So when we would film these podcasts, some would be in person with a particular guest if they were from LA, but a lot of the times was Zoom. So yeah, just keep doing your thing with the podcasting. For me, I love sharing my story. Before WWE and before coming out, I was terrified of speaking on the mic because I had a speech impediment growing up, like I said earlier.
Right.
I didn't like being on the mic. Because I felt like I was closeted. So anytime I did my wrestling promos, it was always like this. Like, let me tell you something, Mike. I'm going to deepen my voice to sound more masculine and sound more tough. Mm-hmm. But I don't have to do that anymore. I can just be me and I can just talk to you just like this.
Yeah.
So, 41 years old, a lot of wisdom in me. A lot of wisdom. A lot of experience, a lot of wisdom.
No, and like I said, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here early.
I told you that my time is your time, my word. That's all I got. So I'm going to give it to you.
I appreciate that. Well, Fred, I just want to say thank you so much for being on, taking the time.
Is that it? Did we hit our time? Did we hit our time, baby?
I mean, if you want to talk about something else really quick, that'd be great.
No, this is your platform. Thank you for letting me share my story. I always say, don't die with a story, and you tell it. And with these sit downs, like, are they an hour? Are they 30 minutes? Like, you just got to follow your heart, and people's attention spans aren't that quick. So sometimes they might want something that's a little bit shorter, or
right.
You say, who are some of your inspirations when it comes to like podcasting? Why are you doing this?
Well, I've always had an inspiration for a podcast since I was a little kid. I loved it, just doing the Windows Movie Maker back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So I used to have this Walmart microphone and just talk as like a 10-year-old kid.
Oh my goodness.
And then when the pandemic happened, that I was really on and off about podcasts in the past, and then the pandemic hit, and everybody's at home.
Yeah.
So then I hit up a good friend of mine by the name of Johnny LaQuasto.
Okay.
And that it started from there on Zoom, and I got to talk to a lot of people that have now been signed, like Nathan Frazier and all these great people like Platinum Max Caster as well in AEW.
Okay.
People that have started in the indies or started doing this stuff and then now are doing bigger and better things. And I feel like with this podcast, it not only inspires myself, but it also inspires others to, pursue their passions, pursue their dreams. So that's what I feel like I love doing this.
That's good.
And that's what really, it keeps my head up. Keeps my head up just listening back to the conversations and seeing what message I could get from that.
Yeah. And what did you major in? Did you go to school?
Yes, I did. I majored in communications in 2022. I have a bachelor's degree and an associate's.
Oh, good. Well, keep it up, man. Keep it up. I'm supporting you. And keep showing up to the shows and if you can bring more people to the shows, like the Academy shows, bring more people. I'll hook you up.
I appreciate that.
I'll hook you up. The more the better to fill the dojo.
I appreciate that. Well, before we go, though, I do want to give another shout out. Just a couple of people that I met through the Academy showcases, like Sebastian Finn, Sean Vegan Keegan, all the way from the Northeast. Phenomenal guys that came all the way to LA to do that.
Yes.
CJ Tino, again, I have to shout out because the way that he started from that program to now Strong Survivor and doing all that, mind blowing. And then one more really quick, Zara Zacher.
Yeah. You can't be quick with Zara. Talk about the girl. She's doing great. She's made evident changes that she needed to make and that's all you can keep going. Something I always, and I'm going to say this publicly, but something I would always tell Zane, and something that relates to her too. The three things for longevity and sustainability is number one, listen to this. Surround yourself around people who light up anytime they see you walk into a room.
Yeah.
Number two, slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And this particularly hits with Czar number 3. The top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So keep climbing. So she excelled at the academy. She excelled in a very short time in her home promotion. Now she's with WWE ID program. The top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So now she's got to keep climbing. Now she's got to really grind and grit and earn her spot. So I'm very happy for all of them. Jordan Oasis is another one that I'm very happy for. And I've talked to him about the struggle. We've talked about the struggle. We all have seasons, you know. A lot of storms come through, but it's how we weather them. You know, how we get knocked down, we get back up, keep moving forward. So, yeah, I'm proud of the talent that's coming out and coming up. Me, I'm closer to the end of my career than I am the beginning. So for me, seeing those under me succeed is very addicting. Yeah. Very addicting. I want to see people grow and succeed and make those changes and have their own personal success and stay in your lane. Because when you stay in your lane, no one can compete with you. Yeah. You, with this platform, stay in your lane. Don't compete with anyone else, because when you compete with anyone else, it kills two things. It kills your creativity and it kills your joy. Remember that. So stay in your lane.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you so much once again. And where can the people find you on social media?
Social media, Twitter, X, Instagram, at Real Fred Rosser. My real name, my government name, RealFredRosser.
Well, once again, thank you, Fred. And thank you, everybody, joining us for this episode of Your Story. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm really horrible at the YouTube thing. So, I mean, I guess that's what you say after that. But thank you so much.
You got to say it. You got to say it. You got to get yourself over, baby.
Well, guys, see you at the next episode.
Yeah, it was eerie doing those games with no fans in the stands. It was weird so we did road games off monitors.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to finally get to do this and tell
I appreciate it. No, it's great to finally kind of have the freedom to tell my story. The most important thing to me is people are going to remember that Johnny Gargano was a good professional wrestler, but even better human being.
It's honestly a blessing. Like, being able to just go to different places, travel, and see new sights.
The title of your podcast actually is very appropriate here. I've just always been interested in hearing people's stories.
Welcome to Your Story with Mike Wexler.